G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to DCS World with Mags, and welcome aboard the UH-1H Huey. So today we have something a little bit different. We are actually starting one of the newer, recently released campaigns for the UH-1H. This is Worlds Apart, Spring 2025, and this is the very first mission. Now I'm going to give you a bit of a breakdown of the situation that this campaign takes place in, as well as a bit of a breakdown of this mission itself, but first things first, storyline is about to happen.
Not so big then, Pilot. But after all, it seems to be worth a detour. One of these top secret things, I suppose.
So, just in between the dialogue lines here, this is the start of the mission, but this isn't the exact start of the mission. It seems the creators of this campaign are looking for a little bit of real-life bullshit to actually happen, so I've actually been sitting on the ground here with the engines running for about 10 minutes, waiting for Wolf 1, the helicopter over there, to actually arrive, and then waiting for this package to arrive, and all the flying I've actually done was a quick hover check and then land, and the rest of it I've just been sitting.
Open throttle to flight. Be prepared for departure. We follow Wolf 1.
But finally we get our go order. So our mission for today was supposed to be to inspect a bunch of power lines and a bunch of power stations that are feeding the new German base in Batumi, which is where we are currently stationed. These power stations and power lines are apparently constantly cut and attacked by insurgents that are operating in the area, so we've got to go find out and make sure they're okay, make sure nobody's messing with them. However, we've just been given a package that we have to deliver first.
Ready for departure.
Now, the package we've got to deliver is actually to the Carl Vincent aircraft carrier that's currently stationed in the Black Sea.
Toughpower. Wolfpack is ready for departure.
Wolfpack, you are clear to take off whenever you're ready. Wind is still 2505 knots. Have a good flight.
Clear to take off. Southwest departure. Let's go. Follow Wolf 1. But keep about 350 distance.
He means that too. I haven't looked into this in depth at this point, but I have a funny feeling the creators of this campaign are in fact German, as you can hear from the accents. And it is a very, very German campaign. You will get reamed if you get out of formation or you get too far away, which happens regularly because, well, your flight lead is not exactly letting you know in advance that he's about to suddenly change direction, altitude or speed, so it's a bit of fun. Anyways, this is the first mission of, I believe, 11 missions in this campaign in total. However, while 11 missions doesn't sound particularly long for a paid campaign, it is worth pointing out that this mission, from mission start, which is at about 8 AM in the morning, to skids down mission completion, was about an hour and 45 minutes, and this is technically the tutorial mission. In addition to that, the actual mission itself is fairly involved. It's not just a travel the waypoints, go back home type mission. You have a lot that you actually have to do in order to be able to complete this. Fly cover for your lead flight when he is landing. A couple of times you're going to have to land. There is a little bit of combat involved, there's just some general recon involved, some general navigation involved. All in all, it's actually a really well designed mission, and I did really enjoy playing this one, although I was a little annoyed at the 10 minutes before we actually got to do anything at the start. I understand why they did it, and why that's part of it, but for the first mission in a brand new campaign that you've just started, firing up the Huey and then basically twiddling your thumbs for 10 minutes is not a great way to start. And yes, also, I am aware at this point that there is a master caution up on the dash of the Huey at the moment. That popped up while the Huey was sitting at idle for 10 minutes, just doing nothing, and nothing appears to be wrong. I have already checked over the aircraft, everything appears to be fine, I just cannot get that master caution clear. Not entirely sure what's triggering it. Anyways, the lead up of the campaign is a quick trip out to the Carl Vincent, which is around 30 to 40 nautical miles offshore, give or take. And once we have delivered our very important package out to the aircraft carrier, we have to turn back around, head back to Batumi, and then we have to go and check those lines and those power plants as we were intended to all along. There is a lot of fun in the flying in this mission, as I'm sure you'll see. But of course, being as this mission is nearly 2 hours long, we will be heavily cutting it down as we go through, just for convenience sake. Anyways, I hope you enjoy.
Wolf 1, staying close formation. If something goes wrong over the ocean, the little tiny Huey will be a hard spot, and every second counts. What's the Wolf 1? Getting closer.
Alright, getting in closer.
Okay, Frank, bring us closer and keep us at 7 o'clock for tea.
We sped up, I think. Okay. Well, no marks on the horizon at all, so... Right. Should be about close enough, I think. Should be able to just drift the speed off here a little.
When joining the army, never expect to end as a postman. That's the way it is. They promise you heaven before joining the army, and then you get only hell and incidental room.
Ship down there to the left. That's not a carrier though. I have a sneaking suspicion this is going to be a long flight out to this carrier.
Exchange VHF frequency to 119.50. That's Carl Vincent. Radar. I've been sleeping, Frank. Stay focused on the forming.
Well, thank you, Peter. I'd be rather wondering what the hell you're doing in the passenger seat of my goddamn helicopter if you couldn't change the bloody radios.
I switched on some lights. Maybe a good idea because it's an area of high-density traffic around an air carrier, and it's better to get spotted. Anti-collision on and position light sensors low. Better safe than sorry.
That is a fantastic idea. Useful bastard you are. What the hell is that?
I hate Warthog. They only absorb treatment. I like it in the bloody berry.
US Navy, please stop trying to recreate the Philadelphia experiment while I'm flying around your carrier group, please. And it appears to have stopped. Good. That's not the first time I've seen that glitch. That glitch needs to be fixed up. But it's still funny that it just happens to happen when I'm approaching a bunch of US ships in the Black Sea. Now, it couldn't have been any other nations, just had to be the US Navy that's causing massive distortion effects on the surface of the ocean. Fast mover coming out of the carrier group. It's probably a ready alert aircraft, or ready 5 aircraft, sniffing out what the 2 incomings on the carrier group are. Just having a look at us. Huh. Means we can't be too far out, I wouldn't think.
Hold formation and get closer.
Yes, Mum.
Calvin, Warthog, helicopter UH-1, 50 miles northeast, at 500 feet for landing. Drop off cargo.
You know, I kind of like this. They're...
Wolf 1, Squawk, 3179er, will go.
Am I clear to talk?
Back. Traffic below is passing from west to east.
Wolf 1, traffic inside.
Alright, so we've got traffic below us. I kind of like this. I like how they've sort of scripted out the communications, so this sort of sounds right. Communications between the carrier and incoming aircraft. It'd be nice if there was some kind of engine built into DCS that could do this automatically. And that looks like that'll be a Seahawk, I reckon. Yeah, that'll be a anti-submarine warfare aircraft searching around just to see what's going on.
Climb immediate to assigned altitude.
Oh, Jesus, you're going to get on my case too. Yes, I'm at assigned altitude. I was only like 10 feet below it anyway. Yeah, I like this. I wish there was an engine where you could set this up to sort of automatically create communications between the carrier and various aircraft with information just based on location and what they're doing using voice synthesizers, I guess. I mean, the voice synthesizers have gotten pretty good these days. That could be pretty cool. But I like the effect they've got going here. The actual, the feeling that there is... You know, this is alive. It's a live area. There is stuff that is happening that doesn't involve you, but you are going to have to deal with it. I like this a lot. Anyway, that is definitely our carrier group. Carl Vincent in the center. Looks like we have... I'm not sure what that is to the rear. Could be a couple of cruisers. Definitely a couple of destroyers.
Wolf 1, you're cleared straight in for landing next to the bridge. Watch out for deck crew instruction.
Okay, and what about Wolf 2?
Wolf 1, cleared to land. Direct at bridge.
What about Wolf 2? Where am I going?
Wolf 2, Vin's radar. Land at the frigate next to your position. Signal rockets are fired. Approved to land at your decision.
Okay, So we are going to land at that frigate, I guess.
Break, information.
Alright, braking.
Wolfpack. Jet formation, 12 o'clock. They are well above, so take it easy.
This is kind of cool. The layout for this fleet is actually rather nice. Shame we're not going to get a little bit closer, but it is the Carl Vincent, so I sort of know what her model's like. She's no Stennis, so this far back's fine. Right. Come on, stop drifting. Nope. Probably should have cleared that trim or retrimmed that a little bit nicer there. We've got a little bit of a drift going on here, but we're approaching square to the stern. A little low. Power down.
Touchdown.
Perfect. Well, not quite. We're not perfectly straight on the back, but comfortable landing nonetheless, and I didn't open those. Okay, hold position until further instruction. That I can most certainly do.
Frigate 1, welcome on board, gentlemen. Set the throttle to ground idle frame. Wolf 1 will need a few minutes.
Yeah. Throttle to idle again. Let's turn off that alarm.
It's a jet, just waiting. The panoramic view of the ocean is not so bad. Would like to stay here for a while and then swing in the sleep.
I don't know about sleeping on a US. Okay, that's some real odd grammar there. Yeah, I don't know about relaxing on a US naval fleet in the Black Sea. It seems like stressful would be the major thing. But I have to agree, the view is nice. Anyways.
Wolf 1, you're cleared for takeoff. Stay below 100 feet. Turn left immediate after takeoff. Inbound traffic.
Wolf 1, cleared for takeoff. We'll go.
This guy to get from the carrier.
Wolf 2, clear there in 2 minutes. Let's go back over solid ground.
Ah, it's about goddamn time. Alright, so let's get back in the cockpit.
Wolf 1 to the right eye. Let's prepare for takeoff.
Bring up the throttles. Let's turn the OPM alarm back on.
Wolf 2, man's radar. Wolf 1 is passing to your right. You are number 2 behind. Cleared for takeoff when visual is confirmed.
Alright, just waiting for visual of Wolf 1, and we are ready to clear. And there's Wolf 1.
Wolf 1 passes in a few seconds. It's time to get a cup of coffee.
Alright, so trim back
Good job on that.
a little.
Have a good day. What
Whoa,
the hell?
whoa. Whoa. That's a fair call. That was a little bit too close. Should have trimmed back a little bit more.
Wolfpack. Vans radar. Climb to and maintain 500 feet.
Alright, heading for 500 feet.
Roger that. 500 feet. Wolfpack.
And heading to intercept Wolf 1.
Wolfpack. Vans radar, you are leaving our playground. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. Best regards from the Admiral. And may Havanas are the best.
Did we just get diverted off of our main mission to deliver fucking cigars to the Admiral of a fucking aircraft carrier? I think we... Yep, we just got diverted off of our main mission to deliver fucking cigars to the Admiral of an aircraft carrier. Oh, shit. Alright, frequency change back to Batumi Tower. Gonna start picking up Batumi ATC in a moment. At the very least, it was an entertaining little flight to get out here. Now, I'm guessing we're going to get back to Batumi and we're going to end up doing the mission that we were meant to be doing. So, our mission, according to the briefing, was to inspect a number of power generators and the power lines between them that were supplying a base in Batumi, the German base. Yeah, the view isn't all that bad, but... Good luck with that. I wouldn't be going back to fish your ass out. Oh, for frig's sake, Peter. Almost looked like we were about to get some decent banter between the crew and then you had to go and be German. Stop it. Ahead. Maybe see the formation. I think. Okay, so what do we have here? Those are US Navy heavy lift. If we just delivered the cigars, I'm assuming that's the captain's hard liquor delivery coming in.
Antonov 26 feet, 10 miles northwest for landing. Information with your receipt. Proceeding as requested. Runway 140, Carol 1.
Okay, so that is Batumi Tower talking to an Antonov that's coming into land. Not us. So we're getting civilian traffic coming through as well. As I was saying before on the incoming to the carriers, I really do like how they've done the radio chatter, at least in this first mission. If this continues... Oh, for God's sakes, Peter, shut the fuck up. Seriously, I will throw you out of this helicopter, mate. I'm in the pilot's seat. Okay, so we are going to follow it around. God, the radio transmissions out of that station are crap. Alright, so we're going to follow the river around to the east, and we're likely going to go on with our mission to check our power plants. So we are not done yet. We've still got the entire planned mission that was in the briefing to do yet. I'm actually impressed with how well this has been set out. So opinions of the mission up until this point. I'm still not fond about the 10 minutes of sitting around playing with the radios and doing essentially small hover hops in the Huey while we actually wait for the mission to start. I know it's realistic the pilots wait that long, but there's a reason why most of the missions in DCS, the first mission of the campaign, the familiarization mission, tends to get you into the air straight away and then talks about what needs to be done while you're flying. You've just started a new campaign. The first thing you want to do is get into the air, not sit around on the runway with your engines running at idle. So I think that's a bit of a down. Right, you're clear to land. But yeah, the rest of it up until this point, the flight's been long, but the little bits of communication in between were good, and I did like the way that they treated the US carrier group. And I'm liking the chatter with Batumi, so we'll see how the rest of the mission pans out. Take a look at the positioning of those power towers, the high voltage power line towers there. There's too many of them too close together. Those things are supposed to be spaced minimum 250 meters apart, and those two there, they're right on top of one another. I get it over the top of them.
We are following the river south to the Turkish border. There's the first power station. Hold formation and get closer.
Oh, for God's sakes, Peter. Alright, Turkish rebels cut power lines from time to time. Hiding places are on the Georgian side because the Turkish forces can't legally cross the border to get after them. Alright. Yeah, I get the high tension powers being relatively close to get over the hills, but out on the flats there should be 250 to 500 meters apart, and they shouldn't need towers to be running side by side. Anyways, yeah, now if I remember the briefing order, we're supposed to follow the tower lines down the river, then there should be a bridge that we've got to check, and then there will be 3 power stations that we have to check. And I think we've got to check the bridge, so we've got to fly down low and examine it, and then the power stations, the Wolf 1 has to land and have somebody hop out and inspect them. So we're flying top cover for those. So I mean, look at those towers down there. Like, there's the size of the tree, less than 100 meters between those two towers. Then there's about 100 meters or a bit less to the next tower. And then there's another high voltage tower, and it's only probably 20 meters from the first one. And then back to 100 meters. Those normal power poles are spaced out at about 25 to 50 meters. It just looks wrong. Although, now that I'm thinking about it, it's actually a fairly good sign for the mission overall. If my nitpicking involves picking out the spacing of the power poles or the high tension power line towers that we're flying past and inspecting, and nothing else. So, yeah, not a bad sign overall. I'm looking forward to landing at this point. I mean, we've been up for... Shots on, shots on. What are you shooting at? I was up the road on the eastern side of the river. Come on. There we go. Alright, doors open, gunners manned.
Go down and see them. We will check every bridge on the way for damages. The first one...
Visual check every bridge on the way. There's only one listed in the briefing. Yeah, I can see the bridge up there.
Take care of the wire. Get a closer look on both sides of the bridge. And even from below, if something is suspected, we have to land and investigate. Might not matter. Today's rules of engagement, we don't fire when being attacked. So be prepared.
Well, I kind of already had the doors unlocked. Please, please don't turn my gunners off again. Okay, so I've got to check both sides of this bridge and underneath.
Get close to the ground. It's important that you can see the bridge on both sides from below.
Alright, so long bleed off here. Oh, oh, no, 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 VRS. Nope, 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 nope. Please do not do that again. Just a little bit too much speed on here, come on.
According to intelligence information, command expects nothing good in the coming days and weeks. We picked out
Well, that could have been a little bit more elegant, but we bled the speed fairly quickly. So, inspect the bridge on this side, so I assume we're going to get low enough here to be able to see underneath. Considering we're kicking up dust, that should be low enough, I think. It's going to be fun, there's high tension wires running just there. Through to that tower there, which we're nearly in line of. Nope. Nope. Close to tail striking, let's not do that. Actually, the rotor sits pretty high in the Huey, we're probably okay. Well, we're definitely seeing under the bridge here, and I'm not seeing anything, so I don't think I'm...
Okay, look good so far. We follow the river southbound. I will land on the first transformer station. You provide cover from above.
Okay, so that's it.
Hold position until we have visual with Wolf 1. Don't climb into the zoo.
Clear of the wires and south, which is over here. So, right hand circles, left hand side out. That's going to be our orbit. And we're going to keep an eye on the edge of the woods over here. And it does not appear that Wolf 1 is going into land. We've lost Wolf 1. There's Wolf 1, okay, so he's still on approach, that's fine. No tracer fire, so nobody's engaging him on his approach. And our gunners aren't shooting. At least the orbit's pretty easy to maintain. Tree line and everything around here looks clear. No infantry, no vehicles, nothing that I can see.
Next station is only a few minutes from here. I take the lead.
Of course you'll take the lead. You're Wolf 1. You are flight lead. Unless you're offering me the job, in which case I'll take it. This around. Alright, just away. Right, so I think you'll be turning right. I think it's up there. Yep, there he is. Okay, so we're gonna follow these power lines. Yeah, I've got to give it to the mission creators here. They for the Caucasus map, they've picked a pretty location to actually build this in. This is a really nice spot to fly the Huey.
Please procedure. Give us cover. I will land close to the station.
Fair enough. You land and same procedure, so they want me in a right-hand orbit. Trees are actually pretty dense here. Nice
What the
road.
hell is going on here? We are under fire. There's a group of petrol police next to the station.
Alright, hostiles at the power station.
There's a big group on the other side of the river. As well as 2 cars on the road. Secure the transformer station first.
Yeah, well I am. I'm firing at the transit. What's that? Explosion at the station. Whoa!
Holy shit. 1 or more detonations in the station. Civilian radio contact to mission command is cut off. We'll gain some altitude, get contact and information how to deal with the situation. With 2, you will follow the car, but hold fire until we get contact at the car side. Two UH-1H are driving, one after.
Really? Where?
Don't let the distance get too far.
Okay, so I'm moving too far away from them.
Behind them.
So they're definitely back in the other direction.
If they hide between trees, we will never find them again.
There. They just went around the corner. This is going to be fun, trying to track them on that road. Visual on 1, over the nose of the Huey in these trees. There's one.
They are not moving in a hurry. They must know that we are behind
Yep,
them.
there's 2 down there. Okay, those are my targets. They must know that we're behind them. Of course they fucking know that we're behind them. 2 Hueys just gunned down a bunch of their mates at the power station and are flying around making a shitload of a racket directly above their heads. Yeah, they know we're here. Stupid question. Or stupid statement, rather. This is pretty reasonable to be able to track them, I think. Well, flying slow enough is going to be... try and walk it.
Let's follow the car further into the valley. There's a Johnson control boat. Anyway, the next stop on our list, they will catch them alive.
Yeah, I got a funny feeling it's not going to be that easy, but the road's descending. There they are. This is actually kind of cool, but it's surprisingly difficult as well. Tracking two cars down a road isn't a major issue, but with the trees the size they are, and the density they are, keeping in a position where you can actually see them, like normally you just fly up and parallel to the road a little bit, and you'd be able to look down on them and it wouldn't be a problem, but...
There's smoke rising. I wouldn't have expected that.
Okay, so there's smoke rising, that's not good. Like normally I would just fly, you know, parallel to the road a little bit high and on the left-hand side of it, so I can just look straight out the right-hand door and see them. Except the trees will block line of sight, and the mountain prevents me from flying there, so... And if I fly too far left, I've got the valley, but I still won't be able to see the road, so I've got to sort of fly behind and...
You take care of the cars. Knock them out. Knock them out. They won't stop by themselves. Weapon free.
Yeah,
Send them to help.
thought that's how it was going to be. Now, how to get this? Close enough to get some shots on them there. And the road's turning back in this direction. Bridge just up ahead. There's the smoke. I'm not sure if we should get too close to that. There could be somebody up there that could shoot us. The bridge is pretty close to it. Singing, we might... Alright, got a beat on them there. The bridge is a reasonably clear area. We might be able to drop down under the bridge.
Come on, Frank. We're getting in trouble. These guys escape us.
No, nope, 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 that's a tree. Whoa! I assume that was one of our targets. What the fuck? What the hell hit them? Wolf was packing rockets. If he is, where the frig's mine?
Good job. If you carry on like this, we can stop right away.
I'm not sure what the hell you're on about, Peter. So, land at the road, at the bridge rather.
Wow, that's a big bang. It's there fully loaded with explosives.
Ah, that explains it. Cars are full of explosives.
Why they have to drive at the same time.
The trees are getting mighty tall in here.
Fly further in the valley, making sure there's no surprise coming down the road. Give us a call when the inspection is executed.
Nice. Yeah, I'm getting a bit wobbly in the risk here. I'm not putting the Huey where I want it. Come on. Not on the rail. That'll do. God damn it. How long have I been up for?
Okay, let's get out of here.
Okay, so I assume my right-hand gunner is the one that got out, because that's the one that's doors closed, even though he's still sitting there. Fair enough. I'll go with this. Yeah, I'm afraid to say I'm actually getting really wobbly into this wrist here. I'm just not holding this quite right.
Car is totally destroyed. Both crewmen dead. I go back to the checkpoint itself.
Okay, so left-hand gunner is my active gunner. Just let him sweep. He's not shooting, so I'm taking it there's nothing there. I gotta give it to it though. This is really cool. The tall trees and trying to find gaps in them to get shots on targets on the roads and the cover beneath them and the rest. So this is a mission where I really wish I could play Fortunate Son right now, or paint it black. Either one would work. I mean, it's the wrong kind of trees, but you know, you work with what you've got. Makes you want a proper Vietnam mission, a proper Vietnam map though, doesn't it? Do you imagine a Vietnam map done with done with trees like this, but you know, obviously the appropriate type, and you know, dirt roads and wooden bridges and doing this kind of stuff in the Huey? MiG-21s and Phantoms flying overhead. Nudge, nudge, hint, hint there. Okay, back on the bridge. Now we should be... There it is. Pretty much on top of it. So I should be able to gently descend here if I'm just careful not to VRS. Careful not to clip any of the trees around the edges. No drift that way. No. Oops. Okay, we don't want to drag ourselves. Alright, that wasn't good. That's not good. Although I've got nothing screaming in here.
Everyone is dead. Nothing we can do. Once to hold position until we pass you. And visual is confirmed. Let's fly back to Batumi.
Alright, so it looks like we're going home.
I take the lead. Follow to my left in a close formation.
It's the same formation as last time. Alright, so it's only the bridge that's burning, and it looks like, no, we're sort of resting the tail on the side there, but nothing critical has struck, so I get away with it. That's still a really, really, really shitty landing. I'm really sorry about that, guys. 15 or 20 minutes and we're back to Batumi. Right. Let's catch up. I'm doing that, Peter. Shut up. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Batumi, taking back over from the live comms. The only section of the conversation I sort of edited out near the end there was Wolf 1 letting us know that we did not need to land at the last power station, as the entire area was now declared hot, and it was expected there would be insurgents or potentially snipers or somebody waiting at the final plant that could potentially take out any crew that lands. So direct line home back to Batumi and straight in for landing and then into debrief. So my opinions on the first mission in this campaign. Well, it's definitely promising. It is definitely long. I was not anticipating this mission to take as long as it did. As I said, takeoff time was 8 AM in game. Landing was at 9:48. Yep, so 1 hour 48 minutes total flight time to complete what is essentially the first mission and the tutorial mission of this particular campaign. It's been a while since I've spent that long into the Huey with, well, that much active flying. The Huey obviously doesn't have any meaningful autopilot. You can trim the aircraft, but you're still hands-on, cyclic and collective while you're flying. And because Wolf 1 is constantly changing speed, changing direction, changing altitude, and you've got Peter, the commanding officer, right next to you, basically bitching at you anytime you get out of formation or outside of a certain range, you're pretty much on the controls at all times without break. So if you're thinking about picking this campaign up for the Huey, I haven't played all of it yet. This is just mission 1. I am going to play the whole lot. As I said at the start, I think there's 11 missions in total, so we have 10 left to go. I am going to sort of give my opinions on each one and how they go. I did enjoy this one. Not a huge amount of combat. A little bit of a FedEx fly around, but it was very interesting on how it was done. I love the transitions between different airspace controls, so switching over to the island tower at the on the aircraft carrier, switching back to Batumi for operating in this zone. I very much like that, but be prepared to put aside about 2 hours for the mission, and if this mission is any indication of what's coming, probably 2 hours every mission, and be prepared to be on the controls pretty much the whole time without any form of rest, because that's how it's going to be flown. That said, I really did enjoy this. This was good fun, and it really did, especially that last section, flying amongst the trees and trying to drop in down on the bridge to drop off troops to check it out. I want a Vietnam map. I want a Vietnam map for exactly that kind of gameplay, and I want a full campaign of that, dropping off LARP teams behind enemy lines, off the Ho Chi Minh Trail, through the canopies of junk. That's what I want. Eagle Dynamics, make that happen. Besides, then it'll give you somewhere to fly the Phantom when you finally put it in, and somewhere for the MiG-21 to actually live, and a few other aircraft as well. Now, my landing here, it was shit. I just wanted to get this thing on the ground and be done with it at this point. I just needed to park and go for a walk. So, it was a bit rough. Nearly put the tail through the fence, moved it forward a little bit, and dropped it back down, and that's about it. There. At that point, I was like, I'm done. I don't give a shit anymore. I'm shutting it down. That was good fun, but I'm going for a walk. So, time to turn the Huey off. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching. I'm aware this one is a lot longer, but this is a 2-hour mission. I've basically cut an hour out of it at this point. So, yeah. There will be more of these. I'm going to play through the entire campaign. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and as always, take care.